To graph the polar equation 1 minus 2, r equals 1 minus 2 cosine theta, we can enter values for theta into our calculator and see what r turns out to be. So when we enter into our calculator 1 minus 2 times the cosine of 0, we get negative 1. And when we enter in 30 degrees to that equation, we get negative 0.732. When we enter in 60, we get 0. When we enter 90, we get 1. When we enter 120, we get 2. When we enter 150, we get 2.732, and we enter 180, we get 3. So now we want to take these polar coordinates and we want to plot them on our polar graph paper. So when we plot those points, we get something that looks like this. And now we want to connect them in the order that we did them. And that's going to give us a graph that looks something like this. Now, because we have r as a function of cosine, this graph is going to be symmetric to the polar axis. So we can flip this over the polar axis and draw the other half of the graph without actually having to add those values. So we end up with a graph that looks like this. This one is actually an extra loop or an inner loop limithon. And so we graphed our polar graph with a combination of plotting points and then using symmetry to help us get the second half of the graph.